On this week's episode of The Inside Trek, we want to give a shout out to Peep This Out, who inspired us to make a food truck episode. We also want to shout out FreakEating and Sean Brotherton, who were featured in this week's episode by participating in FoodBeast's pizza eating contest. Thanks, guys. You can click on any of the links below to check out their channels. After you watch our video, of course. Enjoy! What's up and welcome to The Inside Track. My name's Ryan and I'm here with my boy Jordan. Say hi, Jordan.
What's going on, y'all? How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing real good. Before we get started, make sure you go down there and click that like button. Do it right now. Go on. We'll wait. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because I promise you, you're going to like today's episode. What are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about food trucks. We both went on some endeavors of our own.
Yes, we did.
I'm going to let you go first.
Are you? Are you sure?
I am, but I promise you mine is such a better story.
I don't know that it's going to be.
Okay.
So I had the most trouble finding food trucks. The apps that I was using, I would have thought being in a big market like LA, they would have been everywhere. I couldn't find anything. Half the trucks that I drove to just weren't there. And then the other half of the time, it gave me a wrong address. So I would drive 10, 15 miles the other direction. One time it took me to a college for some reason. Like the address was at a college and it wanted me to. It pulled me up to the gate and then I had to explain how I'm looking for a food truck and they were like, there's nothing here.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how it got that screwed up. But I found my first one, which was a wing truck. They sold hot wings. It was okay. The wings were good. There wasn't a lot that came with it for the price. It was a little bit expensive, but it only gave me like 6 wings. So I'm gonna kind of squeeze past those because that's the less interesting part.
Okay.
The next one that I found, and that was the only food truck I could find in one whole night. I spent the whole night searching. The next time that I went out searching, I found the Viking truck. This is where things start to get interesting. These guys sold me of the Viking truck. Okay. They sold me a bratwurst corn dog.
Wow.
Have you ever had one of those?
I have not.
See, I was thinking about that, and the guy was like, nobody's ever done a bratwurst corn dog before. And I was thinking, no, I don't think I've ever had one. Like, that's so cool. It's such a unique, I felt so manly eating my corn dog. And then they had what these things called dragon eggs, and I've got some video here of me eating those too.
Dragon eggs.
They were tater tots smothered in like this sauce and like beans and like buffalo like sauce and barbecue and like they were amazing. But all of this food, it was literally a Viking truck because it came with so much food. I couldn't eat it all. I ate about half the Viking eggs and my corn dog, and then I had to throw the rest away because I was so full.
How expensive was it?
It was pretty high, but they give you a lot of food for what it is. I would say it's a much better deal than I got with the wing truck. Okay. I wasn't as impressed with the wing truck. Now for the final endeavor, the cool part, I found what I thought was an ice cream food truck. And so I drove to it and I parked and it gave me the wrong address again. But I noticed the GPS took me to 1st Street and it was located on 4th Street. So I went ahead and parked at this CVS and I got out and I just started walking, which I thought was really dumb because I'm walking around with this tripod and camera in the middle of downtown Santa Ana. So it was like, I shouldn't be here at night walking around with this type of equipment. But I walked to where it was located and I found a food truck festival.
Oh, cool.
I found like it was a gated area. And there was so much stuff inside this gated area. And I happened to walk across it. It was called FoodBeast. It was only there for 2 days. That's the extent of this festival. So I walked around until I found the gate, and I walked up, and I guess they saw the camera and the tripod, and they were like, oh, are you press? And I was like, no, sort of,
sure.
No, not really. I was like, kind of. I was like, it's online. And they were like, okay, cool. You'll go sign in with the press booth. And so I walk up and they were like, what's your name? And so I tell them. And they were like, are you on the list? And I was like, no, I had a camera and they told me to come over to the press booth. And they were like, oh, no, you have to pay to get in. So I thought I was going to get it for free pay. As press.
That's hilarious.
So
you should have been like, No, I'm not on the list, but I heard about it, and I'm with my YouTube show.
We're the inside track. I don't know if you've heard of us.
We have double-digit subscribers.
I wish I had a T-shirt with our name on it. Like that's
awesome.
At that point, it would have been more legitimate.
Have an
so
ID
I walk
badge.
back over, and I tell them what happened, and so they said, so it's $5 to get in, or you can be a VIP for $50, which means you eat for free, you drink for free, and you can walk around and do everything. So I said, I'm gonna do that. I gotta do the VIP stuff because everything was still $7, $8, $10 a piece, no matter what you got.
Yeah.
So I was like,
and you wanted to try several things.
Absolutely. So I did. I chose the VIP stuff, and I walked around and I tried all kinds of stuff. There was a VIP section that you had to be a VIP to get in. And so I walked through that, and there was this like chicken and waffle sandwich truck. There was a pizza booth. There was all kinds of beer booths. One had these jalapeno bowls with cheese and sausage, and they had a hot sauce fountain that you could dip into.
Wow, that's like fondue hot sauce. That's cool.
It was amazing.
That is cool.
They had a stage where a DJ was playing, and they had a light show, and like there was a dance like area, and then I showed up right whenever they were starting a pizza eating contest. So I got lots of video and I got lots of pictures of this pizza eating contest. There was all these guys, they couldn't touch they had to have a partner, and they put their hands behind their back, and then the partner put their hands out, and they had to feed the pizza to the person eating the pizza.
That's funny.
And so it was like a group pizza eating contest. It was amazing. They also had an escape room bus parked in the back corner.
Are you serious?
Yes. I didn't get to do it. It was $20 to get in. They didn't allow VIPs to just go on.
You should have done it.
I should have done it, but I did get their schedule, and so I may look at doing it later on.
Maybe another
so
episode.
I know where because they park just like a food truck. It's just like a food truck, but it's an escape room.
That's cool.
Yeah, they said around Christmas time they do all kinds of corporate events. So they go to L.A. and Brea and Irvine and over in Long Beach. They told me all kinds of little scheduled locations. So I may go have to check them out
for sure.
But this was and I stumbled across this festival. It was 2 days long. There was this one like photo area, and I set up the tripod, and I got like a remote snapshot of me with this giant blow up piece of pizza. It was really cool. I could not believe that I found this place. It was called FoodBeast, and I don't know if it's a yearly thing. I'll put some information in the description below. But I couldn't recommend it more. It was incredible.
That is pretty cool. So I want to do things a little bit different. We haven't talked about this, but I want you to go ahead and do your rating now, just because you had quite a bit of information to do.
Okay.
What was your favorite food truck in the festival?
In the festival, I would have to say the hot sauce fountain was absolutely that was the best. The flavor was incredible on that. Those jalapenos were so good. So I'm gonna give you guys a 9.
Okay.
That was a neat experience. I would have to give the Viking truck my second favorite at an 8.5. And it was a standalone food truck, so I got to give them credit for being awesome, even though they were standalone. But yeah, probably the 9 for the hot sauce fountain group, and then the 8.5 for the Viking truck.
Cool. So I gotta say, I think you're a little bit closer to me than I thought.
Okay.
But I think I still got you beat.
I don't know. How could you do that?
Okay, so like you, my first endeavor in finding a food truck was pretty hard. Luckily, I found everything I needed to find in one night or in one day. But I searched almost the whole day in Orlando just looking for a food truck.
It shocked me how hard it is to find food trucks.
Right. So I looked on forums. I asked a friend. I asked our friend Kelsey.
Yeah.
I was like, where do I find a food truck? She said the Friday was a good day to go because there was a regular thing that they did on Friday that she knew of, but it was Thursday and I really didn't want to waste the day, so I decided I'm just going to look. So I searched for a food truck on Google Maps, and it had an address. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I go down to following the directions on Google Maps, and I find myself in a not great area of Orlando.
Oh.
And I didn't know. I'm really still really fresh with Orlando. You know, I love that we're getting this opportunity. We get to really explore our areas.
Yeah.
But I'm still really fresh here in Orlando. So I'm like, I don't know what's a good part of town or a bad part of town. It just doesn't look great. But so I'm driving around, and I pull up to this school bus that now is a food truck. And it's painted like a Hispanic meat market. You know how like they're like super bright colors?
Okay, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It looks like that. And so I get up to this food truck, and there's one there's like a couple in front of me. And so I wait, and I'm starting to look at the menu, and I'm like, what am I going to order? I have no idea what any of this is. So I ended up doing a beef sandwich, and it was like a steak sandwich. So it comes with cheese, beef, hash browns, lettuce, tomatoes, and hot sauce. So he comes up, he says, okay, your food's ready. Get my sandwich. It's huge. It's like longer than a foot long. And I gotta say, not the best sandwich. Really greasy. Not great. Gonna be the worst one of my trip. But okay. I ended up texting Kelsey after I went. And it's like, hey, do you have any areas of Orlando that you would just not hang out in? And she's like, yeah, this area. And it's the exact area that I was in.
Oh, nice.
And she's like, yeah, that's
of
like
course.
Prostitution city there.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, cool.
So you found a prostitution truck?
I don't think it was a prostitution truck, but she said like down this area was like bad news. I'm like, now I know. So
so I spent a few more hours down there.
I know. So I ended up finding a website with another food truck, Big Tree food truck, something like that. Tree food truck. Mm-hmm. Found their website and found their event page, and they actually had an event for that night in Orlando. It was actually a little bit outside Orlando, about 30 minutes in this little town called, not quite sure. I came in, and it was a food truck festival. I walked up on the same kind of deal that you did. Mine wasn't quite as big.
Okay.
There was no entry fee. It was kind of like a yearly thing they do for the city of this city. And there was about, I want to say like 12 or 13 food trucks there. But just not a lot of people. Like there was a lot of food trucks, but just not a lot of people there. And so I went to two different food trucks here. The first one I'm going to wait for last because it's the good one. And the second one, it was this ice cream food truck, but instead of just regular plain ice cream, it was nitrogen. It was really good. Like the servings was way too big for what I wanted. Like the smallest one was like a double scoop, but it was really, really good. Like you can see, like when you first walk in, you can see this food truck. They've got great marketing because there's just smoke coming, like the
just billowing from the truck.
Yes, from
That's
the truck.
cool.
It's really, really cool. So that was a cool experience. But my the first one that I went to was this food truck called Chicken Bites, and really, really well marketed. Like the whole truck was like in a wrap that obviously was designed for this company. All they sold were like these hush puppy things, but inside of them was this chicken mixture inside. Now, when I say chicken mixture, you're like, that doesn't sound the greatest. But they had they had several of them that several different kinds. The one I got was called chicken and cream, and it was like just like cream cheese and chicken inside of this hush puppy thing.
Were they tiny like hush puppies, or like were they like
they were about
big,
this
like a corn dog?
About the same size as a hush puppy. But so I'm standing there and I'm taking pictures of the food truck and of my food, and the owner comes up to me, and I didn't know it was the owner. He just had a Chicken Bites hat on, so I knew he had to have worked there. And so he started asking me, he's like, "How do you like it?" I was like, "Oh man, it's really good. I really enjoy it." And out of nowhere, this guy comes from behind me, and he says, "You know who this guy is, right?" I'm like, I mean, I'm assuming he works here. Or, no, not really. Not sure who this guy is. I mean, he seems cool. It's like, this is he's a professional race car driver. And so I started talking to him, and this guy's name is Raul Bessel. He's 58 now, but he's a Formula One race car driver. I asked him, I was like, you ever raced at the Indy 500? Yeah, I said about 56 times. Just looking him up, I did some research on it afterwards. In 1987, he won the World Supercar Championship. And in 1988, he won the 24 Hours of Daytona. This guy was crazy good. Like, Indianapolis 500, he's in Daytona, France, all this stuff. And I'm like, what in the world got you doing food trucks?
I know, doing chicken hush puppy food trucks.
And he said, well, this guy that my buddy here, he's kind of my marketing guy. And after I retired, he said, there's some money to be made here. And so we just tackled it. He was really cool. I thought it was craziest thing that I've run into a Formula One professional race car driver. But yeah.
That's not bad. I'll give you credit. That's pretty cool.
So, out of my three food trucks,
mm-hmm.
the Spanish one, I don't even want to, like, that was.
We'll just leave that, kind of like the wing truck. We just won't mention any names. We won't give a rating.
Yeah, it wasn't
we'll
great.
Just kind of say it wasn't
good.
Up to par.
The ice cream one, it was really cool. The liquid nitrogen, I would give it a solid 8. Like, it was really cool, really good. For the chicken bites, without the story of this owner and, like, getting to talk to him, with the story of this guy and getting to talk to him, we talked for almost an hour. I have to get like a 9. Like, he was really cool. The story really cool.
Well, I like it. All right. Well, it sounds like both stories are pretty competitive. I don't know. I think we should let you guys decide. Who do you think had the better event, the better food truck festival? Because we didn't plan on actually doing food truck festivals. We were just food truck hunting. So that's kind of neat that we both wound up with that. So who do you think had the better festival? Leave us a comment down below and tell us what you think. And once we tally that up, I'm sorry, Jordan. I know I won. Don't feel bad. But all right, I guess we got to get out of here. Jordan, any last words before we go?
Last words. You suck.
Oh.